What's going on, everybody? Ben here, Capwise, here to break down a few college football games for week 4. And what we're going to do today, as we did last week and the week before, we're going to go through 5 games specifically, real quick, rapid fire, just kind of based off of the Instagram poll results. So basically what we did is we listed these 5 games and we let the audience decide on the spread and who they liked, and we're going to reveal those, and then I'll give you my leans too as well. So just give us a few minutes as some people hop on in here, and then we will get things rolling. And as always, guys, in the chat, please let me know what you think about these games and if you have any games in particular that you want for us to cover. So just give me 1 second and we will get rolling here. What up, Larry? What up, Nick? All right, let's just hop on into it because one of these games is kicking off here in a few, so we need to cover it. So funny enough, the first one, Notre Dame, Wisconsin, neutral site game. This is being played in Chicago at Soldier Field. These two teams haven't played since 1964, which is kind of interesting because I feel like it's a difference of maybe like 200 miles, these two schools, but naturally just scheduling, I guess it does make sense why these teams haven't played a lot, but at the same time, I did find that surprising. Current spread in this one, I am showing Wisconsin favored and neutral site favored by 6, total 44. Man, Notre Dame +6. Seems like Wisconsin is getting a lot here, but the Instagram has this neck and neck 50-50 with Wisconsin and Notre Dame. So pretty interesting one to kind of get things kicked off. I have to lean Wisconsin in the spot, but I don't feel that confident about it. I think the over 44 is actually an interesting play, right? I think that this is a spot where Cohen can get some points on the board. There might be a little bit of wind in this one. I haven't checked, but with it being Chicago, there probably is wind. So make sure to check the forecast here. But this one kicks off in about 35 minutes. So don't forget to get that bet in if you like a side. But this is the most bet game today, which is no surprise, it being an early game. Two programs that are very well known. And again, neutral site. I think this is the College Game Day location too. So it should be a pretty interesting one. All righty. So let's hop on into the next game. Texas Tech on the road facing Texas, the Texas Longhorns. Just doing a little research on this one. If you talk to Texas Tech fans, you would think that this is the best team they've ever had. Honestly, the most hyped this Red Raiders team has probably been in, I would say, 5-6 years. I mean, you may have to go back to the Crabtree years. But, I mean, are they actually that talented? Probably not, right? But I think the line is kind of indicative of that. I mean, it's at +9.5, right? I'm not sold on the Longhorns, but they are at home. What is home field advantage actually in this spot? I'm not exactly sure because, Texas Tech is familiar with the area. I think Lubbock to Austin. Let me look this up. Lubbock to Austin. I feel like it's somewhat close. Oh, is it far? Oh, it's 5 hours. Yeah, Lubbock is actually in the middle. I wonder if they drive or they fly. They probably fly. Yeah. Interesting though. But I would have to lean with Texas Tech here. This is a really interesting one because Texas Tech was getting a lot of the sharp money to start. I mean, it opened at +10 and sharp money was flying in. And then it got down to 8.5. And then you saw Texas start to get a lot of money. So now it's kind of hovered and stopped around 9.5. I guess I'll lean Texas Tech. Instagram has this as a 56% favoring the Red Raiders. So it looks like the Instagram audience likes the Red Raiders in this spot. They take a little caravan like they did in the old days. Yeah, the buggies, the little horse and buggy. So it's going to be a fun one. I think this one is at, let's see here, 1 Mountain Time. Let's see. Oh, this is an early start too. Well, you better get that one in. Actually, now it's down to 9 on DraftKings. So Larry says he likes the over in this one, a little Texas shootout, you think? 62.5. Chase was on Texas. Well, if Chase is on Texas, I might have to be on Texas then. I'm not betting this one personally. I won't have any action in this one. It's going to be a fun one. You know, I could take a live play here. We'll see, but nothing official for me here. All right, next game, Rutgers, Michigan. So I do have a small personal play on this one. Current spread via DraftKings. Let me see what we have here. So why is this down at DraftKings? That's interesting. On PointsBet, let's see. PointsBet -20. Of course, favorite Michigan home team. Total 50. Oh, man. It always scares me with higher totals around 3 scores and lower totals. Or sorry, higher spreads with the lower totals when you favor the team who is favored in the one. And I do still like Michigan here because I'm not sold on Rutgers. I think Rutgers is overrated. I think that they're a team that still hasn't really shown me anything. I mean, if you look at their schedule, right, they beat a terrible Temple team, right? They beat Syracuse, which I don't think Syracuse is a good team, and they beat Delaware. So this is a show me game for Rutgers. If you think Rutgers is the real deal, you're looking at this +20 and you're probably thinking it's a steal, right? But Michigan at home, you know, Harbaugh has covered well in these big spread games. It's when he's in positions where they're closer spreads where he seems to not cover games as well. So I'm fine with Michigan -20. I think that's my play here. This is an interesting one because 60% on Instagram went with Michigan, and that was at -20.5, and that line has moved. So you would even see more votes probably on Michigan here. So I lean Michigan, go blue. Over under, I side with the over here because I think Michigan's going to put up points. Rutgers will get a touchdown or two. I'm looking at like I think a 17-41 type game. I think it's reasonable in this one. So I'm going to go with the Michigan Wolverines. Next one here. Actually, team total. Let's talk about that. Let's see if it's on here. It looks like it's 35 for Michigan. Wow, that's a good number, 35. 35. I think that's a good angle, 35. I do. Because even if, let's say, you know, I'd like it a little better if it was 34.5, but I think 35 is good. I mean, 35 and, of course, Michigan to cover probably are somewhat correlated because you have to expect that Rutgers going to put up a point or two. So we'll see about that. The next game, Texas A&M, Arkansas. Arkansas currently favored by 5.5. Of course, this was an Arkansas team that we were on a few weeks ago. Money line against the Arkansas plus 4.5. Excuse me. This was a team that we were on a few weeks back against Texas. 19.5 on FanDuel. Interesting for Michigan. But I think in this one, I'm leaning under, I would say, more than anything. But as far as the spread goes, I would have to lean with Texas A&M. I think Arkansas at this point is getting a lot of love, and maybe deservingly so. But I also think that Texas A&M and that defense, it is the real deal. So, A&M defense averages 77 pass yards a game. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, Arkansas has some weapons on the outside, and they can put up points, but Texas A&M, they know what they have to do. They have that backup quarterback at this point, but I think Texas A&M is going to have to control the ball. 4.5, it seems like a number that is doable. I know it's on the road. Let's see what the numbers from a betting perspective say here. I'm going to pull up some handles here if I can find them. Texas A&M, where are you at? Let's see here. Yeah, I guess both these teams aren't ranked. I want to try to find, or both these teams are ranked, excuse me. So, looks like money's on Arkansas a little bit. Nothing crazy, around 60% of the handle. So, I guess that's not a huge surprise with them being at home. It seems like the public has started to catch on to Arkansas. Seems like the public is down on Texas A&M. So Arkansas is coming off that Georgia Southern win, but I don't know. This is a little bit of a trappy spot. Instagram audience likes Arkansas. 56% said Arkansas minus 5.5. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about that, guys. Arkansas 5.5. plus 5.5, or Texas A&M plus 5.5 or minus 5.5. So let's move on to the last game, and then we can go through some of these comments on games that you guys want to discuss. Colorado on the road against Arizona State. First and foremost, 65% of you guys on Instagram voted and picked Arizona State to cover this one. Minus 14 is the number. Colorado looked terrible last week. I think they only had a negative rushing yards at the end of the game. Props to Minnesota. They have a good defense there. But at the same time, this Colorado offense is probably one of the worst in the Pac-12, one of the worst in Power 5 right now. And the reason why is because of their quarterback, Brendan Lewis. He's a guy who wasn't even supposed to be the starter. JT Shrout, the transfer from Tennessee, was most likely going to be the guy, right? And he tore his ACL 7 days before the first game of the season. So Brendan Lewis, he isn't a threat offensively. He hasn't thrown the ball deep. He's really struggled out there. In Colorado right now, may have to go to their backup. I think his name is Cade something, and he might see some time. I wouldn't be surprised if Colorado puts in the backup. I think it's Cade Lewis is his name, and they might have to see what they can get out of him. He's a freshman, but again, at a certain point, insanity is doing the same thing over and over, and Brendan Lewis seems to really struggle out there. So this is one of those spots where it definitely scares me a lot, because Colorado could put up some points, I guess, if they change up the offense just a tad and take some shots, because they do have some threats. They have some talent on offense, but they're just limited by their quarterback. So also, like I mentioned, maybe the backup comes in and provides a spark. But 14 seems like a number that you have to side with Arizona State on. I don't really see them as a team that is going to let down in this spot. They're at home. I mean, they have the better quarterback with Daniels. It just seems like it's a good spot for them. I know they're coming off that loss against BYU. BYU is a very good team, and they've proven that. That was on the road in Provo, so now you get a home spot. You're getting minus 14. I think that's a good number. I think Arizona State has to be the lean here. And again, 65% of the Instagram audience is on Arizona State minus 14 as well. So interesting line there. I'm surprised it didn't jump up over minus 14. So there's a promo on Superbooks at plus 250 for Colorado to score 7 in each half. That's insane. Wow, that's, you know what, that's crazy that's even a promo. So 7 plus, points bet. So 7 plus means 7 is good. So they essentially just have to score 7 in a half. For a college football team, that seems like such a steal. But again, that's how bad Colorado is offensively right now. It's about 250? Wow. Nick, let me know what you think the actual odds in that would be, and then what we're getting on the boost. Well, we're getting plus 250. So I guess my question is that a good enough value to play that boost, or is it basically not as much as a boost as we think in actuality? I know it's hard to come up with the implied numbers there. I guess what you could do is you could take the first half total and then potentially divide that by well, you're the math guy. You could figure it out if it's possible. So anyways, yeah, that's a game where I'm staying away from. I might try to grab Arizona State live, I guess, if Colorado can potentially get an early score, but I'm staying away just because, look, Colorado right now has a lot of questions, but at the same time, I would be a little cautious of jumping on the under because of what I said. Let's just say Colorado does take some shots. I mean, they have a Mayan Cheverini offensively, who's their coordinator, who is a very aggressive play caller, and he's a great exotic play caller and has a lot of schemes. But at the same time, the talent just is not there. So I'm not sure what to expect in this one. So let's go through a few questions on games. First one, Georgia first half, 21.5. I like that. You know what? They're playing Vanderbilt, and I think the line jumped up to 35.5. That's just crazy, but that just shows you how good Georgia is and how bad Vanderbilt is. 36, I'm showing. So Vanderbilt may be lucky if they get a touchdown in this one, to be completely honest. So I like that lean because I think in the first half, Georgia's going to come out. This could certainly be like a 24-0 type of game in the first half. So I'm okay with that. As far as the first half goes, full game is tough because Vanderbilt could sneak in a backdoor cover. But, man, that's wild when you see a spread like that in an SEC game of two conference foes. So just wanted to try to get the team total there. Man, I'm showing minus 23 Georgia first half on DraftKings. So that's even a better number there. All right, let's see. Miami, Ohio, Army over. Just taking a look. This is a game that I didn't really do a lot of research on, to be completely honest. Of course, you're going to have an Army team. I'm just going to look to run the ball. I guess my thing here is take a look how Miami has defended the run. I believe Miami, Ohio, last week, Minnesota ran all over them. So you may be onto something here. If Army continues to do that, which they probably will, and Miami can put up some points. So that's an interesting angle with the over. All right, let's see what else we have here. Georgia first half, over. Sports handicapper said Western Kentucky +9 is his favorite bet this week. It's one of my favorites. Also, I think it's a great spot. Penix is banged up. Penix hasn't even been playing great, to be completely honest. I know Indiana had some glimpses and flashes in the Cincinnati game, but I also think Cincinnati came out a little lackadaisical too in that spot. So I don't know what to expect out of Indiana today. They're on the road. This is the classic sandwich spot, right? Cincinnati ranked. That was at home. And then next week, the following week, you have Penn State that's on the road, right? And then Western Kentucky, I can just see their little Hilltopper mascot just sitting there saying, hey, we're here. For Western Kentucky, I think this is a huge game for them. They're going to be fired up. It's at home. +9.5, a lot of points, especially against an offense or with an offense that can put up points. So I 100% lean with Western Kentucky. +290, maybe worth a sprinkle money line. I don't know. What is the best college football game for over-under today? The best college football game for over-under? Well, depends who you ask. But if you ask me, I think a sneaky one is Iowa, Colorado State, under. Another one that the market seems to kind of disagree with me on because of the money is Nebraska, Michigan State. I like that under too. I think Kansas, Duke under is another good spot. And then Wyoming, UConn under 57 or 53.5. Look, Wyoming's going to run the ball, but at a certain point, they're just going to drain the clock. They just want to walk into stores, get the win. UConn at this point isn't playing for much. They just want to get out. I mean, at this point, their coaches are on severance. They're not going to be there next season. What a disaster of a program. So a total, I don't see a lot of points being scored. I think Wyoming is going to put up 30, 40 maybe, but I don't think UConn scores over 10, so I lean under there. K-State, Karate, had their star quarterback go down, might look good for – yeah, but he did play their backup did play last week, right? So not too sure about that one. What are your thoughts on Oklahoma-West Virginia game? So I have a personal play on this one of the over 55. It's at 56 now. I think Oklahoma offensively has a good game. They've struggled a little bit, but I think Rattler's going to get it together. I don't know why he has really struggled thus far. Maybe it's the expectations. I mean, he was the front runner to win the Heisman, and he's played so-so. He did not look good last week against Nebraska. Granted, Nebraska's defense stepped it up a little bit, so I think that in this spot, and traditionally with these two programs, you're going to see a lot of points. So I do lean to the over there. I think we're going to see a lot of points in this one. Nebraska, Illinois. Oh, I was like, that already happened. Nebraska, Michigan State is my favorite under also. Yeah, seems like a good spot. So we'll see what happens. Mel Tucker, 2-0 against Scott Frost. That was against Nebraska, of course, when he was at Colorado. So a little different, but I think Colorado. I think Michigan State is at a point now where you're buying pretty high on them, I would say, to cover a -4. And look, the public is all over Michigan State. The public is absolutely hammering Michigan State, but you're seeing the line move the other way. So that could be a red flag for some reverse line move. I'm showing, let's see here, updated numbers. Let's see, Michigan State getting 85% of the bets and 80% of the handle. Yet that line isn't moving up. It's going the other way. So that scares me a lot. Well, it scares me if you're on the Michigan State side, right? But at the same time, this is I mean, Martinez, you said it. He's a quarterback who he really hasn't improved year over year. He'll make a big play here and there, and you'll get some oohs and ahs, but then he'll throw an interception. And I think for a total and an under, I think that has to be the move, and you have to consider that because you're going to get that, right? You're going to get those big plays, but I think overall throughout the course of the game, you're going to get key costly turnovers. And also, Nebraska's field goal kicker has struggled a little bit, so you may see some opportunities where Nebraska goes for it on fourth, and hopefully if they fail those conversions, it's going to benefit that under and, of course, benefit Michigan State. Yeah, this is a really interesting one, guys. This probably is one of the bigger public plays of the day, Michigan State -4. It's up there. I mean, you have Iowa, -22.5 is another one. Auburn, too. I guess Auburn playing Georgia State, but BYU, another popular play, public play, -23.5. And let's see. Arizona. Sorry, Oregon, of course. Oregon is getting a lot of money too. Arizona coming off that loss against Northern Arizona. You think Jeb Fish is going to have those boys fired up? We'll see. We'll find out. But man, what a bad loss. And Jeb Fish, he's still searching for that first win with Arizona. It's probably not going to be in Eugene on the road today. We'll put it that way. Let's see. So still have about 15 minutes, guys. If you have any plays that you want to share or any games for me to run through, let me know. Another funny public play is Akron +49. They're getting close to 85% of the handle, and they're playing at Ohio State. Man, that is such a big spread. That's crazy. That's one of those spreads where even if Ohio State scores a touchdown within the first few minutes of the game, I don't think you see a live line jump up, right? It's one of those games where you just expect for Ohio State to score every possession. And man, that is such a high total, almost 50. I like the money line for Mississippi State. So I'm not a big SEC guy, but I will say this. I do agree with that play because I think Stingley is out of this one. That corner, and that game's kicking off in a few here. Just wanted to see what the current line was at. LSU. So money line, I'm showing like +105. Not a bad play, but seems a little trappy just because the market's pretty much sold off LSU at this point. And I think you're buying somewhat high on Mississippi State. see what the numbers look like here. Oh, yeah, that's right. Memphis is coming off that, or Mississippi State coming off that loss against Memphis. Close game, lost by 2. Yeah, I don't know. I'm indifferent on that one. I could see it going either way. Larry says he is staying away. Same here. But again, my lean would be Mississippi State, but not going to bet that one. Alrighty, guys. Anything else? What about the under for that game? It's hard to say. I mean, if Stingley is out, do they put up a little more points in this one? I don't know. But to be completely honest, I did not look deep into this one. So you may have a better lean on this game than I do. And unfortunately, SEC games, more times than not, I've just stayed away from throughout the years. You just get tighter lines, right? I think it's harder to find value in those spots. And for me, if I can find games where there's better value, I'm gravitating towards those. That's for sure. Under in the LSU game. What's the biggest reasoning for that? Also, last year these two teams faced off. I believe it was a shootout, right? Does that sound right? Yeah, last year it was 44-34. I don't know what that means, but wanted to share. And Mississippi State won that game too by 10 on the road in Death Valley. Let's see. Is there anything else? Talked about Wyoming. Talked about Vanderbilt. The quarterback situation. Yeah, LSU. But do you really think LSU is still overrated at this point? Because I feel like they were overrated in the UCLA game. I don't know. I really don't know how the market feels about them because they played LSU. UCLA. Lost that one. Then they played McNeese State. Of course, they won. Central Michigan, they won. And here they are against a good Bulldogs team. So it's a huge question mark. I mean, if anything, I feel like LSU, you're buying a little low on, personally. I don't know if I agree to say that they're overrated. Yeah, I think it's fine to say you're not sold on them. Yeah, that's different. But I'm not sold on them either. But I'm also not sold on Mississippi State. I'm not sold on either of these teams. All righty, guys. I think we are going to call it. We have kickoff in a few minutes here. So best of luck with all your bets today. Thank you for joining us. I know some of you are here on Twitter, some are on Twitch, a few on Facebook, LinkedIn, we're everywhere. So I appreciate you, all 50 plus of you, for tuning in who are live right now. Really appreciate it. You can, as always, hop on into our Discord page. See if I can drop the link real quick. The Discord's where it's at. Let me drop a link here. I know a lot of you who are viewing right now are in our Discord. It's free. And it's a great place to just chat while the games are going on, connect with other sports bettors and get some live plays throughout the day. See if this works. Alrighty. I just sent it out on the multiple platforms. So yes, make sure to join up if you're not in already. And let's have a good day, guys. Best of luck to everyone. And we will talk to you tomorrow. Tune in at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, noon Eastern for NFL discussion. See